The electric vehicle market seemed to be slowing down, as if the enthusiasm of the early years had started to fade. But then, like a spark reigniting a great fire, Tesla decided to show the world a glimpse of what promises to be its next revolution: the Model Q. Affectionately nicknamed Baby Model Y by fans, this car made its first public appearance even before officially hitting the streets. And what has been seen so far is enough to make any electric technology enthusiast's eyes light up with curiosity. We're not talking about a futuristic prototype with no launch forecast, but rather a model that, by all indications, is already in its final adjustments to conquer the world. The big promise behind the Model Q is simple but powerful: to make electric cars accessible to virtually everyone. With a surprising starting price of just $13,999, Tesla aims to break the last barrier that still separated many drivers from the dream of owning an EV. Now, just imagine a Tesla costing less than many popular combustion cars. It sounds like a tall tale, but that's exactly what Elon Musk and his team are promising. If Tesla really delivers what they're sketching out on paper, the Model Q could change not just the game, but the entire board. But it's not just the price that's causing a stir. Preliminary specifications already indicate that the Model Q will have a range of up to 500 kilometers, which, let's face it, is quite a feat for a car in this price range. With that range, it won't just be a good option for city commutes, but also a viable choice for longer trips. And there's more. Its estimated operating cost is less than 4 cents per mile. In other words, driving a Model Q could be cheaper than maintaining an electric bicycle in some cities. The impact of this is gigantic. Just imagine how many people today hesitate to switch to electric simply because of the initial price or fear of being stranded in the middle of nowhere. Tesla seems to have listened to these concerns and decided it was time to offer something different. The Model Q doesn't want to be just the cheap electric car. It wants to be the car that finally makes the average consumer say, "Now yes, I'm ready to switch." It's as if, after years of playing at the top of the premium market, Tesla has stepped onto the battlefield of everyday life, bringing heavy artillery. The nickname Baby Model Y didn't come out of nowhere. The Model Q promises to bring much of what made the Model Y so popular, but in a more compact and, of course, much more affordable format. And the most interesting part, according to what has been revealed, Tesla doesn't want this car to feel cheap in a negative way. Quite the opposite. There's a clear effort to ensure the Model Q maintains the DNA of quality and innovation that has become Tesla's trademark. And honestly, if they manage to pull this off at this price, it will be hard for any competitor to keep up. It's important to remember that, despite the excitement, the Model Q has not been officially launched yet. The information released so far is promising, but everything could still change by the time the first customer turns the key, or better yet, taps the screen to start the car. This, by the way, keeps curiosity levels sky high. What else could Tesla be hiding about this model? Will there be last-minute surprises? It feels like we're witnessing the birth of something that could make history. While the public was still trying to absorb the revelation of the Model Q, another piece of information started to attract attention behind the scenes: the way this car will be manufactured. Unlike traditional methods, which already seemed modernized with Tesla's gigapresses, the Model Q will come to life through an even more innovative process, so-called unboxed manufacturing. If before assembling a car felt like building a gigantic puzzle, now it will be like playing with Lego pieces, only on an industrial scale. This new approach promises not only to speed up production, but also to revolutionize the entire concept of car factories. Just imagine, instead of assembling the whole car and then having to take parts apart to install internal components, each module will be assembled separately, independently, already painted and tested, and then quickly and intelligently connected at the final assembly line. This way of working might sound like child's play, but it's serious and smart. With this, Tesla claims it will reduce production costs by 50% and save 40% of the physical space needed in factories. Just this idea alone is enough to make many competitors scratch their heads. This new strategy is a direct response to one of the biggest challenges of the modern automotive industry: efficiency. Until now, even the most advanced factories still lost precious time and money with processes that didn't add real value to the final product. With unboxed manufacturing, Tesla wants to eliminate these losses radically. Personally, I think it's simply brilliant to treat the car as a set of functional blocks that come together at the end. It's almost like assembling a spacecraft in modules: practical, fast, and elegant. Another huge advantage of this approach is flexibility. Since each module is independent, it's much easier to adapt the process for different models or future updates. Want to change the motor? Or maybe redesign the dashboard? With unboxed manufacturing, Tesla can implement changes without needing to reinvent the entire factory. This gives the company an agility that, honestly, the traditional automotive industry can't even dream of having. It's easy to imagine that in the future, who knows, people might even customize their cars like they build their own computers. The impact on the final price is another point that leaves everyone stunned. By cutting production costs and factory space, Tesla can transfer that savings directly to the consumer. And that's how that shocking $13,999 price for the Model Q makes total sense. And it's not just a matter of cost. With fewer complex stages, the risk of errors drops, production time plummets, and the overall quality of the product tends to become even more consistent. The famous Tesla quality may gain a whole new definition from here. If the idea already sounds impressive, when you combine it with another innovation Tesla is preparing, the use of cheaper and more sustainable batteries, the scenario becomes even more promising. And as if that weren't enough, Tesla is also automating a large part of this process, using robots and artificial intelligence to coordinate the assembly of each module. It sounds like something out of a science fiction movie, but it's not. It's happening right now behind the scenes of the world's most advanced factories. Those who saw the first details of the Model Q had the impression that Tesla spared no effort to make it much more than just an entry-level car. The design was carefully crafted to be both accessible and innovative, blending beauty, efficiency, and functionality into every line of the body. The Model Q will be 15% smaller and 30% lighter than the Model 3, which right away brings huge advantages. Not only will it be easier to maneuver and park, but it will also significantly improve energy efficiency, a crucial factor for anyone looking to maximize driving range. Speaking of efficiency, it's impossible to ignore the spotlight on the Model Q's aerodynamics. With a drag coefficient ranging between 0.20 and 0.22, it promises to be one of the most aerodynamic cars in its class. For those not familiar with this number, just know that the lower the coefficient, the less air resistance the car encounters. The result? More range, higher speed, and lower energy consumption. A real engineering goal for a car in this price category. Now, what really catches attention is the type of battery chosen. Instead of the traditional nickel-cobalt cells, Tesla decided to bet on LFP, lithium iron phosphate, batteries for the Model Q. It may seem like a technical detail, but this choice changes everything. LFP batteries are cheaper to produce, have a longer lifespan, and are much more stable, which increases the overall safety of the vehicle. On top of that, they are more eco-friendly, as they don't rely on rare metals. Inside the car, the experience also promises to be something special. The interior will follow Tesla's already famous minimalist style, with few physical buttons and almost all controls centralized on a touchscreen that may vary between 7 and 12 inches, depending on the version. The idea is to offer a clean, technological, and intuitive space where everything is within easy reach. Honestly, for those who love a neat and modern cabin, it's hard not to fall in love with this approach. Another point where Tesla hit the mark was in the use of sustainable materials for the interior finish. For the Model Q, the company opted for vegan leather, recyclable fabrics, and repurposed plastics, all without compromising the feel of quality. Additionally, the car will feature soft ambient lighting and a panoramic sunroof, even in the simpler versions. This combination promises to create a pleasant atmosphere for both drivers and passengers, making every trip a more comfortable experience. The cargo capacity was also designed to be functional and practical. Despite its compact size, the Model Q will have between 350 and 400 liters of trunk space, which is more than enough for travel luggage, monthly grocery shopping, or sports equipment. And since the battery is installed in the car's floor, the internal space is maximized, ensuring comfortable seating for 4 adults without feeling cramped. It may seem small until you step inside and realize how cleverly the space is used. What makes the Model Q even more fascinating is the set of new technologies it will debut, features that until now seemed reserved for the more expensive models. One of these innovations is the adoption of a 48V electrical architecture, replacing the traditional 12V system that still dominates most vehicles worldwide. It might sound like just a technical shift, but in practice, it's a revolution. With 48V, the car's energy efficiency leaps forward, allowing for thinner wires, reduced weight, and better energy management for all onboard electronics. And that's not the only engineering surprise Tesla has in store for the Model Q. For the first time, an affordable Tesla will offer bidirectional charging. This means that, besides charging the car, the owner will be able to use the Model Q to power external devices like electric tools, appliances during camping trips, or, even more interesting, charge another electric car. It sounds like magic, but it's pure innovation, and something that, until now, was only available in much more expensive and sophisticated models. The impact of this functionality is huge. Imagine a blackout scenario where your car becomes a giant battery for your house. Or better yet, during long trips, the Model Q could serve as a mobile energy station. This idea that a car is not just for moving around, but also for generating energy completely changes how people will view car ownership in the future. And all this in a vehicle that costs less than $14,000. These innovations were officially confirmed in Tesla's fourth quarter 2024 financial report, giving even more weight to the promises. We're not talking about distant concepts or experimental technologies. Elon Musk made it clear that the Model Q will be the launch pad to bring these innovations to the mass market. Personally, it's hard not to admire this boldness. While other automakers are still discussing the basics of electric vehicles, Tesla is already inventing new ways to integrate the car into daily life. The 48V architecture, besides simplifying the entire electrical system, also reduces maintenance costs and increases component durability. A more efficient system demands less from auxiliary electric motors and extends the lifespan of internal devices. Not to mention that with lighter and thinner wiring, the overall weight of the vehicle decreases, which again translates into greater energy efficiency and range. Everything connects intelligently, like pieces of a technological puzzle, keeping the Model Q's price so low while offering so much cutting-edge technology seems, at first glance, almost impossible. But this is where Tesla's true genius shines: the platform strategy and the relentless pursuit of ultra-reduced costs. Instead of creating something entirely new from scratch, which would cost a fortune, Tesla decided to combine the best elements of the Model Y and Model 3, adapting and optimizing each component to meet the new goal. It's like taking two award-winning recipes and creating a new dish that's even more delicious and accessible. The Model Q's structural base leverages existing platforms, but in a smart way. Some parts were simplified, others were redesigned to be cheaper to produce without compromising quality. The secret lies in knowing exactly where to cut costs and where to maintain high standards. This reverse engineering allowed something that once seemed impossible, delivering a complete electric car at a price previously unthinkable for the segment, and still leaving room for updates and future improvements. Another crucial factor was the evolution of the 4680 batteries, those cylindrical cells Tesla developed to boost efficiency and lower production costs. These batteries are now produced at an impressive speed of 536 cells per second at the Gigafactory in Nevada. That's enough energy to equip about 500,000 vehicles per year. An absurd production scale that finally makes it possible to dilute costs and deliver the Model Q at such an aggressive price without tearing into the company's profits. The battery cost has dropped so much that it reached an impressive 56% reduction compared to previous models. And if that wasn't enough, the production process is now so optimized that each 4680 battery is lighter, more powerful, and easier to integrate into the car's chassis. Personally, it's hard not to marvel at the almost surgical precision with which Tesla has managed to cut expenses without sacrificing quality. It's the kind of efficiency that would make any automotive engineer lose sleep out of worry. And there's more. Tesla has also advanced in controlling its supply chain. By reducing its dependence on external suppliers, the company can negotiate better prices for raw materials and maintain control over each production stage. With fewer intermediaries, there's more margin left to invest in technology, innovation, and lowering the final price of the Model Q for consumers. It's a virtuous cycle that very few companies in the world are able to build so consistently. When it comes to cost-effectiveness in the world of electric cars, it's not enough to look only at the purchase price. One of the biggest long-term financial factors is battery durability and vehicle maintenance costs. And it's exactly at this point that the Model Q promises to be a true game changer. Recent research and internal Tesla data show that their batteries lose only 1% of capacity per year during the first 7 years of use. In a world where many people still hesitate to buy EVs for fear of battery degradation, this news lands like a real bombshell of good news. Additionally, Tesla has committed to offering a warranty guaranteeing at least 70% battery capacity throughout the coverage period. For the Model Q, this means owners can trust that even after many years and thousands of kilometers driven, the car will still have enough range for daily use without hassle. And if for any reason the battery drops below that threshold during the warranty period, Tesla promises to repair or replace it at no additional cost. This policy lifts a huge burden from the shoulders of anyone considering investing in an electric vehicle. Another game-changing aspect is the vehicle's maintenance itself. Like other Teslas, the Model Q was designed with a minimal number of moving parts. No oil changes, no spark plugs, no engine belts, and in some cases, thanks to regenerative braking, even brake pad was drastically reduced. What does this mean in practice? Fewer visits to the repair shop and much less money spent on corrective maintenance. The car practically takes care of itself on a day-to-day basis. And if the battery is the heart of an electric vehicle, Tesla made sure to show that it's far more resilient than many expected. Recent reports indicate that vehicles like the Model 3 and Model Y still maintain about 85% of their capacity even after 200,000 miles driven. An impressive statistic that will likely reflect in the Model Q's performance as well. In fact, the data suggests that Model S and Model X perform even better, retaining 88% of their capacity after the same distance. This completely destroys the myth that EV batteries don't last. And there's more. Beyond the standard warranty, Tesla is offering battery health certificates at the time of purchase. These certificates guarantee that the battery component has been tested and validated to meet quality standards. For the average consumer, this means peace of mind, and one more reason to trust that their investment is protected against any unpleasant surprises. Honestly, it's hard to find another automaker today offering something so complete. With all this careful preparation, the focus now shifts to what truly matters: the launch of the Model Q. And for those wondering if all of this was just talk or another distant promise, Tesla has made it official. The Model Q will be launched in the first half of 2025. And more importantly, it won't just be a small experimental production run. The company has already confirmed full-scale industrial production, mainly at its facilities in the United States, such as Fremont and Giga, Texas. In other words, a real flood of affordable electric cars is coming. But it's not just the launch that's exciting. What really makes eyes light up is the Model Q's integration into Tesla's future autonomous taxi network. During casual transmissions and interviews, Elon Musk hinted that the Model Q is already being tested internally to operate without a driver. Yes, that's right, a car that, besides being affordable, could in the future drive itself and even generate income for its owner while they rest at home or work. It's as if each Model Q could become a small money-making machine. Of course, this idea still needs to pass through many regulations and final testing phases. But the fact that Tesla is already moving in this direction shows how ambitious the Model Q project really is. Instead of just selling cars, the company wants to create a global fleet of autonomous vehicles that can be shared, rented, and operated almost automatically. For those with a long-term vision, owning a Model Q could be much more than just having a car. It could be an investment in a new form of income generation. Another curious point is how Tesla is handling the development of this autonomous technology for the Model Q. Instead of cutting features to lower the price, the company kept compatibility with the full self-driving FSD package. This means that in the future, the Model Q will be able to receive software updates that make it even smarter and more autonomous, depending only on regulatory approvals in each country or state. Imagine buying a car today and seeing it become more capable year after year without ever needing to replace it. And for tech enthusiasts, Tesla promises that the Model Q will have full access to all of this in an integrated and intuitive way. Over-the-air updates, voice commands, remote management apps, and of course, the entire artificial intelligence ecosystem that Tesla has been developing for years will also be available in this model. A true democratization of the automotive future, which until recently seemed reserved only for those who could afford cars priced over $50,000.